Music Review. I'm so happy to have you with me tonight. Thank you so much for inviting me into your living room. We have a show for you. It's going to be a little different. I know some of you watch every week, and you're going to see some differences in tonight's show. But we have probably the top of the cream of the crop in the area. When I talk about local music, I get really excited. You all know that. Tonight we're going to talk about music venue with Mr. Bill Doherty, and we're going to talk about some bands in the area that are doing some really incredible things. I have the real deal Bobby Christina here, and Johnny McLeod of Johnny and the East Coast Rockers are here in the house with us tonight. And I'm going to let them open up with a little tune for you, and then we're going to talk about all kinds of things, music and instruments and venues, and we're just going to have a blast. So sit back, put on your laughing shoes, and enjoy.
Don't ever rob and steal. My baby don't have to work, don't have to rob and steal. Give everything that you need. I am a driving wheel. Well, she left me this morning, said she'd be back real soon. Left me this morning, said she'd be back real soon. Maybe early Friday morning, late Saturday in the afternoon. Baby letter, I don't want no one to break that seal. Well, wrote my baby letter, I don't want no one to break that seal. That letter goes to my baby, I am a driving wheel. Every time that you walk, she's like a leaf trembling on a tree. Every time, whoa, she walks, man, she's like a leaf trembling on a tree. She says, come here, Johnny, here's where you get your steak, potatoes, and meat. My baby don't have to work, don't have to rob and steal. My baby don't have to work, don't have to rob and steal. I give everything that you need. I am a driving wheel.
Nothing like having the real blues on Grandma's attic.
It's real.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness. I get that same reaction every time I've ever seen you, except I get a little more intimidated. Here you're under my roof on the attic, so it's a little different. You guys have been playing together off and on for a long time, but you don't actually have band together.
No, long time, Johnny, huh?
That's probably like the early 80s.
Yeah.
I think I started my band around late 1800s.
Came over on the boat,
Yeah.
Columbus.
Actually, you started your band, if I remember correct, I thought I did. It was before I got sober. So that speaks volumes. And you're all over the place. I hear about you playing all the time. And who are you playing with now, Bobby?
I have a band called the Soupy Boys. With,
The Soupy Boys,
yeah,
like
Soupy.
soup?
Well, it's soupy, Italian sausage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. Who said that they had one head?
We opened up for Christine over at the theater. And we've done some shows at the Nick, and it's Dean Cassell on bass from Beaver Brown. There's Brian Templeton from the Radio Kings. Him and I used to play with the Radio Kings. He sings, plays harmonica, plays accordion, guitar. Billy Lasigian on guitar, and Bruce Beers, B3 player that plays with Duke Robillard Band.
Yep.
And it's kind of a rootsy blues, a little bit of country in there, a little rock in there.
Uh-huh. Do you think that New England has taken on a flavor of blues all its own? Or do you think that we...
There's some great artists that come out of this area.
Yeah.
And still are coming out.
Providence,
And,
Boston.
yeah.
I mean,
But
just-
they're Westerly.
Even Westerly, yeah,
the Westerly, Pawcatuck, that whole little area. Sugar Ray, Room Full of Blues.
And
Brother
James.
Franny and James, Johnny Nicholas.
Yeah. And now Easy Baby, they've made some pretty
Yeah.
tight waves. And Connecticut itself also has some really good things. What is this on my table?
It's a tennis racket
It's a tennis racket.
Threw some
with
strings.
3 strings that I put on it.
So someone told me that you actually make instruments.
Yeah, I do. I kind of, I call it playable art.
Playable art.
Playable art.
I love
Kind of
that.
show it to you a little bit. It's I had probably a bunch of these hanging around in my garage for about 25 years. I just liked
Tennis
them.
rackets or playable art?
No, tennis racket. It's an old tennis racket, and it's probably from like late 40s, maybe 1950s. As much as I really hated to cut into it, but I said, well, it was doing nothing anyway, collecting dust. So,
Right.
so what I did was I put. I originally had violin pegs on here, and it just didn't work out. It was just too hard to tune them, keep them in tune.
Yep.
So I put a piece of light plywood on here, build a bridge, put a little nut, make a little fretboard on it.
Decoupage some notes on.
Yeah, yep. And I can play a little bit for you. It's kind of
I'd like to see that.
it's not really a real loud instrument, but it does come. The volume kind of comes from the back. So I tune it to an open D, so it's like
Okay.
a D G, something like that. Let me put this expensive strap on. Makes it a little.
Yeah.
Don't trip, you'll hang yourself.
So you get like a little. I mean, it has its limitations. And then
well,
if it doesn't work out, I could always play tennis with it too.
Yeah.
So. It's great to bring us on a date so you can try to entertain them, and if that doesn't work out, well.
there's other ways to entertain. No, you don't. No hitting women. Well, I was going to take your picture of doing that, but I guess I can't. I wasn't quick. No, not playing tennis.
All right.
Do you enjoy creating instruments or playing instruments?
Well, both. Both. I mean, I've done carpentry all my life too, so it's. I guess it's kind of in my blood.
How many you have? How many did you?
I probably have about 20 different ones of all different shapes and sizes. I mean, I mean, I do them out of cigar boxes too. I mean, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, cigar
And,
box. Dan Stevens does
Yep,
a lot of that.
I know Dan well, and it's sort of a. I've been kind of getting away from more of that and kind of getting into. I mean, I have one I just did of a horseshoe crab. I didn't bring it in because it was kind of fragile. I didn't have a case for it.
Right.
So I'm going to be doing more of those.
How's the sound that comes out of a horseshoe crab?
It's not bad, surprisingly. I do the same thing. I put it. It's kind of tricky to do the whole thing. It's kind of. And I've only done one prototype of it. And actually, these are. You can see these on my website. Well, they're not on there yet. I'm creating a new website. But eventually, if you want to take a look at them and see what I'm doing with them.
And where would what would people dial into their computer to?
Be my band name, ecrockers.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm actually constructing a whole new site. So my old ones right now is there, but hopefully in a couple of months I'm going to shut that one off, and this one's going to come on and kind of show what I'm doing.
Okay. Are you guys doing any touring right now?
Nah.
Winter time. Stay home, make some money,
Yeah.
hang around the house.
Probably go back out though because the gas prices went down.
I know, isn't that awesome? They're already down to $1.99 in Connecticut. I heard it on the news this morning.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wonderful stuff. What are you doing? What are you
I'm
doing?
playing. I'm working with Bill over here to try to get the
Oh,
theater
our friend Bill
happening.
Doherty. We love him.
I have this CD that just finished.
You just finished
well,
it?
beginning of the summer, and we're
You're
still
right.
promoting it. We have some shows coming up with
That's
that.
an awesome CD.
A friend of mine, John Paul Sharop, called me up, and he's a blues lover, and he said, "Bob, I got these songs that I want to do, and I want to like recreate, what happened in the Knickerbocker in the early '70s, and
Right.
and try to feature some of the people that played around there." So he got the songs. I said, come up with this amount of money. I'll get the studio. I'll get the engineer. I'll get the musicians. At the time, I was playing with Rick Russell out of Boston and Bob Worthington on bass. Doc Chanhouse was Rick's brother-in-law, created the horn section with Dennis Cook and Rich Latai from Roomful. And so we got all the songs down, and the thing took about a year to complete.
I would think. I'm looking at some of the names here.
We got, it was Curtis Salgado, who's won like Best Soul Vocalist, Best Entertainer last year, the Handy Awards. He's phenomenal. He used to sing with Santana and Robert Cray, and he does stuff with Steve Miller, and he's out in Seattle. But if you ever get a chance, just check him out. He's just
You got Franny to come in.
Of course.
I guess you have some pull with that Franny
I
Christina
called
guy.
up Franny. There was 2 songs, three. Franny's on 3 songs of that, and I called him up and said, "Franny, you got to come up and play on this Going Down," the song by Freddie King. And we wanted to create that live version of 1970 Ann Arbor Blues Festival. You can punch it up on YouTube and see it.
Yeah.
And so, and Franny goes, "Yeah, I'll come up and play." He goes, "I think I was on stage that night. They was playing." He goes, "That's when I first met Dave Maxwell, who played piano with Freddie King and James Caan and a bunch of others."
Yeah.
I said, "That's right." So Dave lives in Boston, and he spends his winters in Costa Rica. And I called him up, and he called me back like 3 weeks later. I said, "Dave, would you come and play on some Freddie King tunes?" So he came up, but that's why it took so long to put it all together.
Oh no, a project like this doesn't happen overnight. Absolutely not.
We wanted to get the right vocalist for the right, Sugar Ray. He's
Yeah.
3 tunes on there. Johnny Nicholas, Willie J. Laws out of Boston. It was funny because we were doing a benefit up in Boston, and there was like 1 song left to record the vocals on, and it's a Buddy Guy tune, Mother-in-Law Blues, and I was trying to figure out who I could get in there, and I went up there, and there's this guy with a cowboy hat on, and I was playing drums, and he started singing, and I said, "That's it." I said, "Man, would you come down and play on he sounded just like Buddy Guy."
Cool.
And really, really good guitar player, too. Al Copley is on there. He's one of the best, isn't he?
My heartstrings just flip every time I talk to him. He's such a great person. And his lady's pretty awesome, too. No, on top of being drop dead gorgeous. They're just a great couple. And, yeah. So this is wonderful. Where can people find this?
You can go on CD Baby, and
It's on CD Baby.
yes,
Okay.
and also the website, the Knickerbocker All Stars. You can find out. We got some great reviews over in Germany, over in Europe. Living Blues magazine. It was number 15. It came in on top 100.
Well, it got great reviews on Morning Mojo the other day.
Did it?
How many weeks ago was that you were on with her talking about this?
A long time ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. Well, it was in the last
probably the summer.
few
Probably
months.
when
Yeah,
we did the release party in August at the Knickerbocker.
yeah. It
Well,
was a great interview. You get a little rowdy on the radio, though.
I do.
Yeah.
Must have been. Was it evening or morning?
Morning
It was.
Mojo.
It was evening.
Morning, AM.
We also have here in the house with us Bill Doherty, who has taken one of the theaters in the Mystic Cinema and turned it. Well, I guess you still shows movies in it once in a while,
Yes,
but
we
has shows there that are musically based, and he's had some of the best there. Let's see, he had right before he died.
Johnny Winter.
Johnny Winter, and Christine Ullman's played there,
James
and
Cotton.
James Cotton, and James Montgomery, and you played there, and now you two are collaborating and
Correct.
putting things together there. How's that working out? You two get along okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who don't you get along with?
I get along with everybody.
That's what I thought.
get along with everybody. But
Yep.
you mentioned James Montgomery, and I'd just like to kind of.
He's actually been on my
acknowledge him.
show.
He has. Well, I'd just like to acknowledge that this is how this whole program started.
Right.
We were doing a documentary film called Delta Rising, and James came down, and as he was walking up the sidewalk, I was like, oh my God, I remember this guy from high school. He's still got the snakeskin boots on. So he came in, and we were showing the film, and he saw that we had a small stage down at the bottom. And he asked me if I ever thought of doing a live concert here. And I said, you could write your own deal, the first one. So he brought the Uptown Horns, and then from there it was James Cotton, and from there, 4 years later, and countless shows, we're probably up to over 30 shows. It's an honor.
It's an amazing, amazing venue. It's small, it's intimate, it's big enough to pay the band, because you got to have a venue that's big enough to actually make the money to pay the band, and it's not a bar.
You know,
the people are there to listen.
That was a great thing about that. I've seen Christine Olin about 6 times or so.
Yeah.
When I saw her with James Montgomery, I just sat and listened to her.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, she's incredible. Her voice
Right.
is incredible. You sit there and listen, and everybody that goes to those shows there,
That's
really
what they're there
appreciate-
for.
they
That's
really
what they're there
appreciate
for.
that.
It's a listening venue. And so many musicians today have to play in places that are not really listening venues. Bars are not listening venues. People go, they hear the music, but they're really not listening. So when you go to the cinema and sit in the front or second row, because that's what I do, you can listen and watch and feel
You feel it.
the amazingness. I'll never forget either the first time I saw Christine, it was at the Guard Theater. She opened for, oh my brain today, Starry Starry Night, American Pie,
Done.
Don McLean. She opened for Don McLean, and I got to actually hear her rather than watch her in a bar. And
Yeah.
she blows me away.
Yeah.
She's hotness.
She's great.
She's definitely hotness.
great.
She's never intimidated me,
person.
though. She's
She's
so
good.
down to
She's
earth
such a
off
good
stage.
person.
Johnny's laughing because he knows he scares the heck out of me when he's on stage. He's got such a commanding presence. What makes you think? What do you think makes you have that commanding presence? Why do you believe that you have such command of the
I
stage?
never knew I did.
You didn't. Bill says you
He's
do.
out front.
Absolutely, and one of the things I'd like to acknowledge here is that maybe it was about a year and a half ago, Johnny, we did a program with Johnny where he went into the high school and he had, was it some type of...
It was the Rachel Challenge.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and where people were able, students were able to audition, right? And then they were able to come down to the cinema and play with Johnny and his band.
get to play.
One of the best nights we ever had at the theater. It
was a lot of
really,
work.
really was. And what a thrill it was for those kids to be able to
Well,
go and perform
yeah.
on stage with Johnny and his band, but also be seen by their peers. It was a great, great
Absolutely.
night.
It probably packed the house too.
Oh, we were filled
Yeah, it
up
was
that
good.
night. That was
Yeah.
a good one. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of
usually-
town local support on that one.
Right,
That was a
right.
great night. at the
Battle of
theater.
the Bands type thing.
Yeah.
We should do that
well,
again.
Not so much a battle of bands, but it was just, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of coordinated to a certain extent, but it was the kids were just having a ball, and they did some of their own music too. It wasn't
right.
but they had the opportunity if they wanted to come up and play with the band. So I would get together when we'd work it out a little bit, just me and the kids. So they
Yeah.
didn't play with the whole band at the time. And then when they got up there, I think they realized the caliber of it, and they're going, "Whoa, this is cool." You know?
Right.
And I tell you, if any of you folks that haven't been out to this Mystic Theater,
Oh, my
the
goodness.
sound is like one of the best
It really is.
that I've played in and listening. You know,
Yeah.
on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, it's an amazing venue. The stage is just the right size,
Yep.
and the acoustics, yeah, they are.
Yep.
Well, they're built. A cinema is built so that it's acoustically right. Now, the cinema's been there forever and ever. When did you decide that this cinema really needed to come back as a cinema?
You mean
Tell
as
your
as a
story.
live venue or
No.
as the movie theater?
As the movie theater. Tell that story.
Oh,
I've heard it 100
you've heard it 100 times?
Tell-
Okay, we'll
tell
go
my
101.
listeners.
Okay. Back in 2006, I received a phone call on my cell phone, and it said brother. And so I answered the phone. Good morning, brother. Well, it was my sister-in-law. My brother had a fatal heart attack.
Oh, my goodness.
And she was calling me. And at 40 years old, my brother passed away after just adopting a baby. And this is the truth. It was 10 days after he passed away. I said to myself, what are you waiting for? You have dreamt of that movie theater, not any movie theater at the Mystic Village.
Yeah.
And it was 10 days after my brother's passing. I did it in his honor and made some cold calls. And a couple of weeks after that, I had a deal. And it's been a childhood dream of mine to own that theater, as it was my father and his partners who bought that theater back in 1978. And they ran it through the 80s. And I remember I was 26 years old, him telling me that he was selling his chain of theaters. And back in the back of my mind, I said, that's okay, I'll go get it back someday. And
Good man.
20 years later, I did. But I always like to remind folks is that, and I often say this before the shows, I own the seats, the screens, the projectors, the popcorn machine. Our landlord will own the building. But folks, this theater belongs to the community. It's not
It
Bill's
really
theater.
does.
It belongs to the community, and if the community supports it, I am honored to facilitate it. I truly am. It's been a real honor to do this, and especially working with Bob now and bringing more live concerts in here. We've had other programs in here with the Mystic Ballet, with the Cornerstone Productions, bringing in live vaudevillian shows.
You've done some work with Richard also.
Yeah, Richard at Imagine has done a lot of work
Yeah.
in promoting this for us. He's been a big help. Even the amazing Kreskin, he performed there a year ago, and that was a lot of fun as he put a show on. So the stage is always evolving, and I hope to go on in the future here, especially with these live concerts. I have a lot of fun
Yeah.
with the concerts. I really,
Yeah.
really enjoy them. And I agree with what you're saying. The acoustics and the connection on those nights, I've often said, I will put our shows against anything that our big friends
absolutely.
that our big friends at the White Castles have up on Route 2. I will put our shows against anything they have.
Right.
We don't have the bells and whistles, but what we have is that heart and soul.
And that's what it is. I have to tell you, the first night, back in the old days, I had seen James Montgomery. I was a little younger,
Okay.
and hot for teacher, okay? When I got to see him as a grown-up, sober, in
At
the
the theater.
second row at your theater, it took me right back to being a little teenage girl with all that, and it's like that. And then
Did you
I
throw
had
your
seen-
brassiere up on stage?
Yeah,
I had seen, I'm not going to tell you what I threw up on stage. I was wearing my leather pants that night. When I had seen Johnny Winter, he played at the sub base over here many years ago, an outdoor concert, and I was right up front and I was all hot for that too. I was sad when they brought him out at the Johnny Winter show. But when he started playing his guitar, it was right back to that day. And I don't care if you're sitting in the back row or the middle row or the front row, it's all the same because it's such an intimate venue that you get to see it all.
Yeah.
And you feel it all, and the whole audience is there feeling it all. So we need to remind you all that the Mystic Cinema is right here in the heart of New London County. It's a beautiful venue. Not only does it play really great music, the concerts are top of the line. 4-star, 5-star, whatever you want to call it. 4-star is the top of the line. I don't know when 5 stars came in, but
We'll give it a 6.
okay.
Okay, 6
All right.
stars.
Well, you're the boss.
I will stand behind that.
The popcorn's good too,
Absolutely, and we put real butter on the popcorn.
right? And you serve wine and beer sometimes.
For the concerts we
For
do.
the concerts, we serve wine and beer. So that's a good thing
The
too, I
show,
guess.
the show times too, we try to cater to where people aren't maybe doing much on a Sunday afternoon, late afternoon,
Right.
5 o'clock. It's great to go in the village too, go and eat somewhere down there.
There's
and,
great food in the village.
and we keep the-
I'm sorry.
we
But
keep-
one of the things I wanted to point out about that we do a little differently there, as I've often said, I do these shows for my family, my friends, and my patrons. And we try to make it different. You're there to appreciate the musicians for the work that they do, not for a bunch of bar noise. This is to appreciate for what they do, and I'm honored to do that. But one of the things I always tell people is that before and after the show, the second that show is over, if you want, as a patron, you could walk up on that stage and you could meet these people.
Right.
They're happy to talk to you.
Right.
They really are. We've never had any thing but great results from that. Or they'll come out into the lobby, and they're part of our family there, everybody that plays there. And I give all our patrons the same guarantee. If they support one of these live shows, and for any reason they don't enjoy it, they could actually make something up and tell me it was too hot in there, or the seat was uncomfortable, I will give them a free movie ticket for coming down and seeing what we're all about with these live concerts. They're a lot of fun.
They really
And I'll
are.
stand behind every show.
Do you guys have a song you can play real quick
Sure.
so that I don't have to talk for a minute?
Will you sing? Will you sing, Dot?
Do you know what you're asking? Oh, my listeners are going, no, 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 no. Do not let her sing.
And don't let Bill sing either.
Well, Bill, we'll sit and listen. We'll pretend we'll hum.
I got my mojo working and it just ain't working on you. I got my mojo working and it ain't just working on you. I love him with this woman and I just don't know what to do. I'm going down to Louisiana, gonna get my hamburger boiled. I'm going down to Louisiana, gonna get me a mojo hand. I got a feeling I'll make the woman my man. I got my mojo working. 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 I got my mojo working and it ain't just working on you. I'm going down to Louisiana, I'm gonna get my hamburger boy. I'm going down to Louisiana, gonna get me a mojo hand. All of you the women gonna jump at my command. I got my mojo working, mojo working. I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working and it ain't just working on you.
Nice. That was awesome. That song has been around for,
Couple weeks.
feels like centuries. Every blues band does it.
You know, it's funny, I just
As they
started doing
should.
it 2 weeks ago.
Really? Are you serious?
I'm serious. I always loved it. I mean, I have so many Muddy Water albums, and I never, for some reason, never really dug in there and played too many of his songs. And I just came across the other day after he played the album. I said, "This would be great for the band," and everybody just picked up on it. And it was
Right.
kind of, yeah. I don't know if I'm doing it like Muddy, but having fun
Nobody
with
does
it.
it like Muddy.
No.
I mean, and quite frankly, I have an opinion about covers. You might not want to hear it, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. I believe that covers need to be done either as good, just like the original, or you have to take it and make it all your own.
Yeah.
And you do that. And I think that everybody that does Mojo working well makes it their own. I've seen it done by every blues band I know. And they all make it their own. I like what you did, you and Bobby sitting here just kind of doing it. And we put a couple notes in there.
Yeah, I was
You're
helping.
playing your banana.
Playing.
Phil plays the banana.
I was in on this, you know.
Oh my goodness. I told you guys that we were going to have fun here. This is a banana, and it's dried out, so it makes a noise.
But it's still appealing.
It's still. We had an orange on the other day.
You did.
Yeah, and it did the same thing as the banana, but it looked more like an orange than this banana does. I didn't know that they made bananas in China.
They do.
Me neither
Everything's
till
made in
now.
China.
Wow, very cool. Very cool. You have more than this instrument here. Are you going to introduce us to them?
yeah.
Or I mean, it would kind of be a waste of time for you to be here and not introduce us to all of your instruments, right, John? Oh, that's
Look at that one.
pretty.
This is it's an old DeSoto hubcap.
Yeah.
And hope my dad don't get mad at me for taking it off his car, but it's.
Does he know? No. Well, yeah, probably he does.
So I kind of do the same thing. I make the necks. Got to kind of carve into it a little bit, and same thing. Put a little thin plywood on the top, and I'm using for some of you that remember the H&S green stamps, that was sort of my theme with this one. It's an old book that I actually had that was almost deteriorated, but so basically what you do back in the day of, I think they stopped in Wesley. There was one, in 1970 that closed down?
Yeah, up on Granite Street. I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
An S&H green stamps
Yeah.
store?
Yeah, well, you go in and buy your gasoline, and give you a little book, and then they give you so many
Green stamps.
Stamps.
and
green
you went-
stamps.
That was my first drum set.
Really?
I saved up about 15 books, I think it was. And it wasn't a drum set, it was bongos. That's all that's all I could afford. So I went to Groton to get them and went back home, sat on the porch, and I didn't realize you're not supposed to use sticks with bongos. Went right through. But that was
Another
my first
15
drum
books,
set.
how to save it up again.
My mother collected them. I never saw her use them. There was piles and piles and piles of them in a closet. I never knew what they were actually used for. I thought you could get stuff with them, but I never saw her use them.
Well, I
So
think in this book, they have like little pictures of, there's one here with a movie projector, and like here, I think they kind of show you things that you can buy, golf clubs and, that kind of stuff.
nice.
So, so back in the day, you go to a real garage gas station where they'd actually fill the tank up for you. Somebody might even have the hat on and a little bow tie and a suit, kind of, not a suit, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
And,
Nice.
But those days are. But I remember it as a kid, and anyway, that's kind of what I did with
So
that one.
all of your instruments, do they all seem to have a different sound to you?
Yeah, definitely like this one here. Actually, this one doesn't sound
Okay,
too
so
bad.
don't just pluck it out. Play us a song with it.
Well,
Is it in tune? Sounds in tune to me. Very banjo-y.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
it sounds a little metallic, but
It's
it's
well, it's got kind of a banjo sound to it.
it does.
It does.
A little twang there. The whole idea is to make them playable. I call it playable art.
Right.
And they're never going to play like this guitar and sound like it. But I did take a lot of time to make sure it's playing. The action's a little high on this one right at the moment. But it's kind of what I do with it.
Now, what inspires you to make each instrument that you make? You found these tennis rackets, and then
No, seriously, I have a ton of hubcaps I've been collecting because I restore antique cars. I've been doing that since I was a kid. So I've gone through the junkyards, all my life finding parts. So I come across hubcaps, and I forget what I did first. I might have did a cigar box first, kind of something typical, And then I was just down there in the garage one day. I was looking at that. I was saying, boy, I know people have done it before, but I'm not the first. But usually they put them on the other side. So I went this way. To me, it just seemed a little bit more appealing. And it was kind of like when you flip it over, it's like, it's a hubcap. But I don't know. I don't know.
Great.
It inspires me. I mean, I could look at something and say I can put a neck on it. I mean, something with, halfway.
The horseshoe crab.
The horseshoe crab.
Yeah, that's so cool. I can't wait to see that.
Like I said, in a couple of months, hopefully I'll have some pictures up on the site. I had an old Captain Kangaroo box. I mean, I know that goes back, but it was a regular, like a shoebox style.
Yep.
And you open it up, and it had, I didn't have the parts in it, but it was it's like a kit, they call it, and you do things with it as a kid. So
Yep.
I put a neck on it. I had to line it with wood a little bit.
Yep.
And that one's kind of a little crazy. It opens up this way. All my guitars except for these and that one, of course, they'll open up. I've done old oil cans and what else do I have? My dad had an old tin box. It was a cracker box,
Yeah.
Nabisco, but they actually were tin back
Yeah,
in the
they
day
were.
with a tin lid. And he used to keep his nuts and bolts on that, be in the workshop. I mean, it was always there since I can remember as a little kid. And
My grandfather had one of those too.
yeah. I mean, I'd always in there, finding nuts and bolts. So he gave it to me about 7 years ago when he moved. And so I put a neck on that, and it's actually, it sounds pretty cool.
I bet.
Yeah. So I showed it to my dad, and he goes, wait a minute, I had one of those. I said, that was the
That's the one. That's the one.
And he goes, well, what'd you do with the nuts and bolts?
Oh, yeah.
I said, I still got them, don't worry.
Made a
Sounds like what my
saxophone
father
out of
would
it.
do.
Right?
But,
So,
yeah.
can people get you to actually make something for them if they got a hold of you?
Yeah, just,
If they had like a special hubcap off their
sure, absolutely.
off their Studebaker or something. Yeah, my mother had a Studebaker, and I think it's still sitting in the barn. And yeah, I wouldn't
And
mind
the
stealing.
cases he
That
makes
make a
for
big
'em,
boom?
too, that
You
really
you
cost
make
money.
cases for these also?
I do actually, yeah.
Wow. How do you find time? Your band's busy all the time.
I teach guitar out of my house, so
Okay.
So I got a lot of idling time, and I got a wood shop in the back. So, I mean, I don't do it every day. I have to get in a mood for it.
In a mood.
In the mood exactly. So,
Yeah, I have to do that too when I do art. I'm not an artistic person, but I like the color.
He did he made a great one for my sister,
Right.
who's his wife,
Yeah.
for Christmas.
What did he make?
The case had, like their wedding pictures and stuff.
Nice.
And,
Yeah. That's good. So let's talk about what you're doing.
what am I doing?
I don't know. What are you?
doing?
What are you doing?
So my mother says, what are you
What are
doing,
you
Bob?
doing?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, you can talk about your upcoming shows,
Cola.
Bob.
You don't have any
The
upcoming shows? Yes,
We
you do.
This right here, the Knickerbocker All Stars.
Yep.
It's going to be, the date's going to be in February. You go on Bill's website.
oldmysticflix.com and a full schedule. Let's see, in April we have, let's not get to April. In February here we have our first jazz concert,
When is that?
February 16th.
February 15th, the day after
15th, I'm sorry,
Valentine's
okay.
Day.
Okay.
And that's going to be our first jazz show, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be good. It's Sunday afternoon, it's-
That's one of the things that's really cool about these shows is they're early in the evening on Sunday afternoon, so you can get to them, have a great evening of really, really good music, and then go home and get to bed in time to go to work on Monday morning.
Yeah, and your Thursday night, that's like at 5 o'clock,
Thursday
isn't it?
nights
Yeah,
is
Thursday nights, we've done quite a few of the shows on Thursday
That's
nights.
perfect, yeah.
Not to conflict with our movie schedules. So.
Right.
And Sundays is a new time that we've tried to develop here. So.
What's
which do you prefer? And what do you find the crowd likes better? Have you seen a different?
We've only had a couple. We've only had a couple here on Sunday, so I think it's too early to tell with
Mm-hmm.
that.
we had an RBQ.
Yeah, and RBQ played on a Sunday afternoon. That was a lot of fun. They
Yeah.
have-
Oh my
the
goodness, I
audience
haven't
has-
heard them in years.
The audience had a great
I
time.
bet,
With,
I bet.
Yeah.
Didn't we do Joe Lewis Walker?
Joe Lewis Walker. Yep,
Yeah,
Joe
that was
Lewis
great.
Walker
Was on
came
a
in on a
Sunday?
Sunday afternoon, and Christine was on a Sunday. So I think those
That
are
was
the
a
three.
Christmas show, the Christine Ullman show, right?
Yes,
That was
yep,
a
yep.
Christmas show
Yep,
or a
it was
holiday show.
Early in December. Yep.
Yep.
And Christine has sent me an email. She'd like to come back again.
Well,
so
of
she's
course.
always welcome. The Beehive Queen is always welcome in Old Mystic.
What's your capacity in there, what, 180?
185.
185,
But, We can put some folding chairs in there. And,
We had to do that for the Johnny
for
Winter.
Johnny Winter, Johnny was,
Oh my
Johnny was back to the wall.
yeah, that was completely sold out.
That was a great show. I have some really,
That was
really
fun.
good photos from that show.
But you could get, you could go on the Knickerbocker All Stars website and
Yep.
see where the shows are going to be. We have it at the end of the month up in Woonsocket. We're playing a chance. And what I'm doing is trying to get as many of the artists that are on the CD to come out. It's kind of tough because they're all over the
Yeah.
country. But for that show, I got the core of the band with the horn section and Rich Latai, who's from Roomful, playing with us.
And Al?
Al's going to be, he's in Switzerland. He couldn't make that. So
He's
we
such
have,
a brat.
we have Bruce Bears going to be playing piano for that.
Al,
that
like,
night.
going off to the other side of the world when he should be here
I
for a
know. How
concert.
dare he go to Switzerland?
Yeah, well, maybe I'll write him a
Make it
letter and
time.
say, you really need to come home.
Brian Templeton's going to be there, and Sugar Ray's going to be there, and it's going to be good. So they're sporadic, these shows with that. And
So the show you're trying to put together is going to be in Mystic or at the
it's
Nick?
going to be in Mystic in February.
Okay.
And it's going to be a Sunday. There's one January 31st up at Chan's in Woonsocket with the Knickerbocker All Stars. If you look on that website, if you look at Bill's website, the Old Mystic Village Cinemas, you'll see what's coming to the theater.
Awesome.
To the-
Yeah, well, that's what's really important is to get on, let's spell it out for them.
Okay, it's spelled like the Old Mystic Village, OLDEMISTICK, so it's Old Mystic Flicks.
FLICKS.
oldmysticflicks.com. You can actually sign up for a weekly newsletter, and you will get a newsletter with all our movies and also our concerts. And
Great.
any upcoming live. But also, we have our first Beatles tribute band coming
Really?
in. Yeah, that's going to be April 4th, so that'll be something new for us.
That will be great.
So that's what's nice working with Bob, is that we have now bookings that are several months ahead. So hopefully this will
Dan
continue.
Moretti.
Yep, Dan
March
Moretti's coming in
22nd.
March 22nd, and then how you pronounce his last name? Jeff Kashahawa.
Yeah.
Kashahawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, jazz
I
player.
love jazz though too.
It's going to be, we're going to do like a Valentine's Day show, recording members of the Rippingtons Jazz Band. It's going to be Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock, that show.
Yeah, that
And you
would
could
be
get
great.
tickets, you could get
At the
tickets
cinema
at the cinema.
and online.
Online.
Yep, that's good stuff. Yeah.
And our friend James Montgomery, he assures me he is going to be calling me soon, and he's going to be putting another show later on in the probably the early spring. He'll come back again. So
Good, I'll give
we'll
him a
put you
holler.
right on the second row again. Okay.
No, I want the front row.
Okay.
I like sitting in the front row. I'll actually give him a call and ask him to come and do a show here before he does the show there, so we'll get some buzz going on about that.
Great.
When he's
That-
going to come and go.
That would be great. I expect to hear from him any day now. So
All right.
he knows we're working on putting together a show. So,
Okay. Well, the thing is, this show airs on Metrocast for you guys, and then it goes from here and goes over to Comcast and airs on the Mystic Comcast,
Oh, nice.
Groton Comcast. So we're really touching the whole circle around the
Yeah.
Mystic Cinema now. So we can really talk about what you're doing over there. Bill, I have to tell you that what you've done by opening up the cinema for music has really bumped up the whole area as far as Mystic. The Guard does stuff too, but it's not the same. It's not the same because the Guard is thousands and you're hundreds.
Hundreds, right.
185 people is intimate and it's personal, and the people that are there are passionate about.
We have not
kinda
had
like
we
you.
have not had a show that people have not walked out of there really enjoying themselves.
I know.
It's-
I know. I've been to most of them.
It's been a challenge to get our patrons to know that this is what we do, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they'll tell me, geez, I didn't know you do this, and we've been doing it for a couple of years.
Right.
And that's why I always guarantee every show, and if somebody does not have an enjoyable time, I will give them a movie ticket, and they can come back and see a movie for free.
Yeah. Well, if I
I have to tell you, I haven't given away one yet.
Of course not. Of course not. And I'm not going to complain anyway. I'm going to sit in the front row and just have a blast.
You know, there's other bands that they haven't been back in a while, but we had Robin Ford, guitarist Robin Ford, with his Renegade Creation. That was quite a show. John Harrington from Steely Dan. The night before they played with Steely Dan at the Foxwoods. I know it was MGM they played.
Yep.
Little did anybody know that 5 pieces were at the theater the night before.
Right.
And they played for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And it was a great show.
Well, all I can tell you is from the reactions that I got, they told me that we blew away the show the next night at MGM.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that for a
It
second.
doesn't take much.
No.
It
You
doesn't-
can say that, I didn't say that.
I don't care who plays at the MGM. You can't take away from the personal, small intimacy of your theater.
Right.
You can't change that. When you have that kind of intimacy, it's better than anything else. That's why these new house concerts are really, they're picking up and people are doing them. Because you got 12, 13 people sitting in your living room with a band playing. The band is happy and it's intimate and it's passionate.
And they get to meet the artist.
Right,
For
right.
who they are, and for what they do, what their passion is
Right.
about. James Cotton, to see him up on our stage and have the audience come out with tears in their eyes,
Yeah.
and then be able to stand there and talk to James after was really, really
it was
something.
very, very personal
Yeah,
for me.
that was a great one.
I
really
was
enjoyed it.
really young the first time I saw him, and it was at the Shabu.
Uh-huh.
And he was a little younger then, but
Yeah.
he did backflips.
That's what I heard.
No, I was like second seat in. I really like to sit in the middle, and I was like second seat in, and he did a backflip. He was still playing his harmonica.
And you know what was amazing about that was the microphone still had the cord then. They didn't
It
have
was
a cordless
right. I've never seen it. I still to this day have never seen anything like it. And I did cry when he came on stage. I was like, wow. And then he started playing.
Did you come to Mystic and see him over
Of
there?
course.
Were you there the second show when we
No.
sung Happy? Well,
I was there before the Blues Fest.
Okay. Well, the second time, James played there twice, both with James Montgomery. But the
Yep.
second time, we had a little behind-the-scenes planning with myself, James Montgomery, and James Cotton's wife, and we were going to celebrate Cotton's birthday.
Oh, I
So,
remember hearing about
right
that.
in
Yeah,
the, not at the beginning, but right in the middle of the show, yours truly comes walking out behind, and I announced to the audience right in the middle of the show, did anybody mention it was somebody's birthday? And Cotton turns around, and just like his wife predicted, he's going to say, "Hey, you got me." And that's exactly what he said. And next thing I know, the whole audience sung "Happy Birthday" to James Cotton. Where are you going to find that? You will
That's
not
what
find
we're
it.
talking about. That's why the Mystic Cinema music venue is so awesome. It just isn't to be rivaled with when it comes to intimacy and being able to actually watch the show and not have to deal with people stumbling around or
No.
whatever. You don't have to deal with that here. It's a much better situation. I kind of want to make sure that we're good time-wise and get some more songs out of you guys because I can.
Did you pay the cover?
How we doing? Okay, what'd you say?
I said no. I said, you know, one of the things Johnny Nicholas was one of the pretty important parts of putting the Knickerbocker back to the way it is now.
Right.
And he spent a lot of time and involved with that to get it to where it is. And he called me up last summer. I think it was last summer, and he said, "I want to play up there with my band, but I want a place where people are going to listen."
Yep.
You know? And I said, "I got the place for you. Come on." Came in on a Friday night with Cindy Cash Dollar and the band, and he gets done. It's I don't know, was it 10:30 or something? And he goes, "We'll be back after we take a break." I said, "John, you only have to do one 90-minute set." He goes, "No, we want to play till after 12:30."
Awesome.
He goes, he just loved it. Just loved how it felt and the sound in the place, and the people really dug it. They had a lot of people listening to Scuttlebutt in the lobby and just walking around and they're like, "Right, for the buck."
Yeah, that was one of our longer shows. It was
Right.
like 1 o'clock before everybody got out of there. That was a well received show.
How'd you do the next morning? You slept till noon, didn't you?
I do. I take my time.
I love that.
But that's what we see with everybody that does come play there,
Yeah.
is that the connection between the band and the patrons is really, really special.
It is.
And it's funny because in some of the contracts, or which I don't give many of those, but the verbal, they always say a 90-minute set. And I almost laugh inside because
They won't.
nobody stops. And
Right.
But that's really something.
But we
nice.
need help. We need people to come out more.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, you can go to the Old Mystic
Village Art Cinemas.
No,
That's the official- oldmysticflix.com.
oldmysticflix.com. I don't know if we can get that on the screen, but if we can, that would be cool. These concerts are real. They're all ages. That's a wonderful thing. How many places can you take your 15-year-old to go see a show like this?
I'm going to give you one little story on that, and then we can get back to them playing. But there's a gentleman I know that I was aware that his son was wanted to be a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
So I invited the father and his wife to come down. I said, please make sure you bring your son. And that night he was introduced to Rodney Holmes. And anybody would tell you that Rodney is one of the best drummers in the world.
In the world.
And
Oh
now,
my gosh,
now-
he's amazing.
He really is. And not only did he get to meet Rodney, but him and Rodney have been corresponding. So he's helping him along. So that is the difference that we bring to at that theater.
Well, there's another young lady, her name is Emily, and she's in a wheelchair. And her mom does everything for her. And she has brought Emily to the theater also, and brings her right down front. And nothing Emily likes more than music. And when she gets to come to these shows, it blows her mind.
Yeah.
It's just her favorite thing in the whole world. So
We're going to keep it going, I promise you.
We'll
We're going
get
to
her
keep
to
it
the
going.
next
A lot of
show.
new shows, so check out the website. I know Bob is working hard, and hopefully we're going to have Johnny come back, and maybe we'll put together that program again with the high school. That was a lot of fun.
Well, anytime you want to invite Easy Baby back, you can do that
They
too.
were part of the family. They're welcome anytime.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Awesome, awesome. Play some more songs. We have about 8 minutes left.
8 of them.
Hang on.
Get your banana, get your banana. I'll get my
going.
pen.
Love is a burning thing. It makes fiery ring. Bound by wild desire. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, down, and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. Ring of fire. Ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire, going down, down, and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. Ring of fire. Ring of fire. Taste, love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire, going down, down, and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. Ring of fire, ring of fire, ring of fire, ring of fire.
A little fast, but
I love that
Thank you.
song.
That's
I even
great.
helped you sing a little bit.
Yes.
Quietly. Very,
This thing was-
very quietly.
slipping a little bit.
What is the show on the 16th?
Jeff Kashihawa, which is our first jazz show.
15th,
Sorry, I'm sorry, it's February 15th.
February 15th.
And
You can also get tickets with Kevin P. McCabe, Comcast.net, I think it is.
Oh, Kevin McCabe is helping promo the show?
Comcast.net, yep.
Kevin McCabe, that's spelled MCCABE
Right,
at Comcast.net.
.net. Kevin P. McCabe.
Oh, Kevin P. McCabe.
McCabe.
Okay, y'all get that? Kevin P. McCabe at Comcast.net. We'll also get tickets and see more about what's going on.
Well, one of the other concerts I wanted to mention too is that, remember Jim Weeder from the band, which we
Yep,
talked about,
the
Rodney
Percolator.
Holmes. We have recorded them twice.
Right.
With James
In-house.
In-house
Yeah,
recordings, which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen, they were reviewed on bandjam.com,
Yep.
and they got fabulous, fabulous reviews.
Right.
They're going to come back, and we're going to do the third installment of that. And I've asked,
Right.
it's going to be a lot of fun again, and I've asked Jim to please ask Joe Louis Walker to join us on this one.
That would be nice.
That would be really nice. And I said, would you please ask Joe that I have personally asked him to please be on this with us.
Nice.
That would be really, really
Now, do you
fun.
know when that's going to happen?
We're looking at, it's that Thursday, it's May 7th or 8th, right in that area.
Okay,
But
great.
I'm waiting for them to get back to me on dates, and hopefully Joe will be able to join us.
We'll be able to get this up on the air way before that. I want to get it on the air before this, too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's all going to happen, but I'm hoping,
All right, try to
I'm
do it.
hoping that we can do that. That will be awesome. So if you want to take us out with a song, you can do that. I want people to know that they can find your art at
ECRockers.com, that's my band, East Coast Rockers.
Right.
Yep.
ecrockers.com. You can find out all about Johnny's instruments, art, instruments, I don't know.
And his band.
I'm not sure I want to put them on my wall. I think I'd want people to come in my house and want to play them. But they're really neat.
Well, it's
And
funny,
they-
before the show, I asked Johnny to give some thought to building one that would have a movie theme that we would put on the wall as part of a display in the
See?
lobby. So
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going
Yeah.
to work
Well,
on
he doesn't
something.
know this yet, but I'm gonna have him commission one for Matt Guitar Murphy.
You, really?
Matt
When is
he just turned 85 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to.
he's another one?
That's my project that I've started working on. I'm doing a tribute to him.
Yeah.
And Christine Ullman's already sang the two. What I'm doing is taking through Matt's career, taking 2 songs from Etta James that he played with, 2 songs from James Cotton. James said he would be on the CD too. J-Mo said he would be on the CD.
You know who else would be really cool to have on the CD? And I know you're going to go, really? There's a little kid. I believe his name is Nolan.
He's actually opening up for us at this show. And
Yeah, that young man
He's great.
needs to be involved with anything you do
He's
for
great.
Matt Guitar Murphy. Matt blew him away, and that child can play the guitar.
he can play, yeah.
That child can play. He's going to go huge places. I'd love to see him involved with anything you do.
Yeah, he's a good kid too, smart kid.
One of the things that this show is part of is called the Music Now Foundation, which is all about encouraging children and getting them on stage with professional performers. And it's nice. It's nice. Take us out with a song. We've got just about a minute, so play us a nice song. While he's getting ready to play, I just want to say goodbye to you all. Don't forget, it's all about local. Bring your money to the local stores. Shop local, keep the money local, and the economy will grow local. That's what we need to do. The guys are going to take us out.
I can just
and
quickly thank you for
bless us.
having us.
Absolutely,
Thank
Bill,
you.
A lot
anytime.
of fun, a lot of fun.
It's been so long, I just can't be sure. Since you've been gone, days seem a blur. I call out to you and all the things we used to do. Why don't you rattle me on the telephone? Still sad and blue, we're sitting all alone. Why don't you rattle me? I can't go on. Well, I come back home. I'll be waiting for you. When you pass me by just yesterday, I saw you turn